Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about cancel culture. We're going to talk about failed cancellation attempts. Things are not working the way that they used to work. And I think that the far left is very slow to get the memo that the general public is wise to their antics and they're moving on. And even celebrities that are definitely more left-leaning, like Sir Elton John, are saying what they think, and good luck trying to cancel Elton John.
Yes, because you had to cancel all those straight white guys.
Yeah, I know, right? So we're going to talk about something that Elton John said about Donald Trump. He made a joke, and they tried to cancel him for that. Then we're going to talk about Bill Maher slamming critics of Cheryl Hines, who is the wife of RFK. RFK, of course, is teaming up with Donald Trump now. I never thought you'd see that, Kennedys and Republicans, but, you know, well, Schwarzenegger is married to a Kennedy, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, this is the crazy world we live in.
So they're divorced, but
they're
that's
okay.
because he had a kid with somebody else. She's found out about it, but yes, they were once married.
They were once married, but like, Cheryl Hines is pretty well liked in Hollywood, but now people are attacking her. It's like, what's she supposed to do? Like divorce her husband because she said she's not a Trump fan, but you know,
there was this thing called, being married, but you don't have to agree on everything, because like, so Arnold Schwarzenegger is more Republican and he was married to Maria Shriver, who was Democrat, and Chris Pratt is more Republican and he's married to Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter, who I believe is Democrat.
Yeah,
you don't always have to agree.
You don't always have to agree. You have people of different religions, and basically politics have become religion.
It's become a religion, like a cult-like religion. Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about this because I think I really do think things are changing. Now I could totally eat my words in November, regardless of who wins. I told my kids, I said, just brace yourself for quote unquote civil unrest, because I think it's I don't know how it's going to go in November.
The media isn't helping. They keep polarizing everything worse and worse and worse. Instead of de-escalating, they keep escalating, which does not help.
Well, that's like this. This was a nothing burger thing that Elton John said. He thought was funny that Donald Trump made a joke about the leader of North Korea being Rocket Man. And people remember that from a couple of years ago because they couldn't get their rockets to where they wanted them to go. It's like, oh yeah, Rocket Man over here. And he said, yeah, I thought it was funny. He said, yeah, I've always, personally, I've gotten along okay with Trump. Now, that wasn't exactly a ringing endorsement of Donald Trump, but they're trying to cancel him.
But there were a lot of people who got along with Trump for years.
When he voted the right way.
Right, when he voted the same way as them.
And then when he gave them money.
Yeah, because he was giving money to the Clintons and everything else. Yeah. They were always like hobnobbing before.
Yeah.
Right. But now that, everything's, very polarized and he's on the opposite side,
God,
they're all mad. So this person literally took this comment and made a whole article about it.
Yeah. So we're gonna look at this because you want to talk about a time capsule. So we're talking about a celebrity getting canceled for saying things about Trump on BuzzFeed and the Daily Beast. This is the most 2017 video we've done. So let's talk about all this crap. I do believe it is going to end here pretty damn quick. If for no other reason than the general public is tired of it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Now, before we talk about Elton John, I want to talk about this Elton John pinball machine.
Oh, I know you're going to bring it in the video.
I'm putting it in the video. This is a magnificent. He very much
wants this machine.
I am a bit of a pinball player, and
dare I say pinball wizard? No, you're not.
I'm not. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not great. I've seen people play that are just amazing, but yeah, this is an amazing Elton John pinball table. It's only $15,000.
Only.
It's only.
That's why he doesn't have it. Because I was like, hell no.
It's this or a car, but. I need to start a GoFundMe to get my Elton John pinball table. Anyway, let's talk about this. We're going to show the clip, I think, first.
Okay.
On Variety, and then Variety got called out by these weirdos on Twitter who are still there.
Of course they did.
They're, why are they still on Twitter? Twitter is owned by the wealthiest Donald Trump supporter on the planet. Why are they still there? Aren't they enabling this Nazi? I mean, come on. Seriously. I don't believe his hair is actually brown.
I don't think that's his real hair.
I know that you're not a supporter of Donald Trump's. He loves your music. How did it feel when he took the lyrics to Rocket Man and he used it as a nickname for Kim Jong-un, and then he gave Kim Jong-un
I laughed. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, you know, wait.
Good on you, Donald.
But you know what? You know what? They were trying to set it up for him to say something shitty. Like,
Yes.
how dare he? How dare he? He's like, no, that was funny. It was brilliant.
Well, because what they're doing now is we've had some other musicians get angry that they were playing, and I forget what the songs were, but they were playing music at different Republican rallies and Trump rallies and whatever, and they're like, "How dare you? We're gonna sue you, whatever." And he's like, "Hey, he made the Rocket Man joke," and he's like, "Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny." And he said fly out, "You're not a Trump supporter. How does it make you feel?"
Well, he starts that way, yeah.
Yeah, but they were like you said, they were hoping he'd be like,
How dare he?
It makes me so angry, and I'm going to sue Donald Trump now because how dare he tie his bigotry to my music?
But they clearly have the same hairstylist.
Yeah, nobody's buying it, Elton. Nobody's buying it, Donald. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm the Rocket Man, yeah. Donald's always been a fan of mine, and he's been to my concerts many, many times. So, I mean, I've always been friendly towards him, and I thank him for his support. Yeah, when he did that, I just thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh.
He gave Kim one of your CDs and signed it. That was in one of the books.
Oh my God.
Kim, I guess, didn't know the song, so.
What's that?
He gave Kim Jong-un the signed CD.
Yes.
Which.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, he didn't know the song because of course they're not going to have Elton
So he
John
didn't get the joke, so
He
they
didn't
gave
get the
him
joke. It's like, here you go, Rocket Man.
Oh my God. But he's just like, yeah, it was funny. I laughed. He's like, what's the big deal? And so now people are mad at Elton John.
Yeah, so now we have Depp and Spacey Defender 2, by the way. The interviewer leads with, "I know you're not a fan," assuming Elton was going to breathe fire. Yeah, he praised Donald Trump. Yeah, pretty
He
much.
wasn't like saying he endorsed him.
No,
He just said, he's been my contract. He's always been nice. We
Yeah.
get along. I
Yeah.
thought it was a funny joke. He never said vote Donald Trump. He never said that. He thought very classy. I agree. It's very classy. The interviewer was trying to elicit a specific response.
Yes,
I agree.
they wanted another headline that screamed, "Elton John slams Donald Trump." Instead, they're like, well, the next best thing is Elton John kind of sort of supports Donald Trump, but then
but he's not really supporting
But he's
Donald
not.
Trump.
He actually, I think, said in another interview, or might have been this interview, that he was all about the LGBTQ rights and you need to vote for the right person, but he didn't throw Trump under the bus either. Yeah, it means I'll jump on this and claim. Okay, don't jump on this and claim he supports Trump just because it'll make you look stupid. He's not making an endorsement.
He's not saying that.
He's just saying he had no problem with the little Rocket Man line. It was funny.
So they're just trying to make articles to get Elton John issues because he said he didn't hate Donald Trump for he thought the joke was funny.
He's always been very slow, didn't come out of the closet until he was 40, when every person on the planet already knew he was gay. Yes, I think we all knew Elton was gay before Elton came out.
He's been the biggest kiss ass to rich people of any rock star I've ever met. Yes, Howie. You know who else had no problem taking Donald Trump's money? The Clintons.
I know, right? Yeah, this is not overreactionary like almost everything is. Yeah, so it's,
I thought he handled it very well. He's like, oh yeah, I thought that was funny.
But yeah,
he was classy about it.
BuzzFeed's all about. So they're showing, oh my God, guys. Oh my God. There's pictures of Elton John with Donald Trump. I've always been friendly to him. Oh my God, guys. They're colluding. They're colluding with Russia right now. Right?
Now you're gonna probably get, because you said that as a joke. Now
I'll probably get a note or something on them. But then he said, I just want people to vote for things that are important to people. The right to choose, the right to be who you are, and not let anybody tell you who to be. And that goes all the way to the Supreme Court. So he is not giving a ringing endorsement to Trump, but he's also not throwing him under the bus either. Get off the stage, Grandma. Forced apology coming in 3, 2, 1. It's over for Elton now. Elton's one of the most overrated musicians in history. I
think most people are just kind of like, they might be trying to make it into a thing. Because they had, like, on the BuzzFeed, things you didn't think you'd hear today was Elton John saying that. But I think that even though they're trying to make it a thing, I don't think it's working for them because people are like, well, that's just a very fair thing to say.
Not like it used to. That's the point of what I'm trying to make here is, like, they're trying to drum up a controversy, right? Like back in the day, like 3 years ago, and it's not sticking like it did before.
No. They're trying to make it stick, and it's just not working because the normal people, which is the vast majority of people, are just like, but he didn't say anything wrong.
Right.
I don't understand, you know?
I mean, you can vehemently disagree with somebody's politics and not have to take the Mark Hamill route and be on Twitter all day and just be like, I hate Trump. Did I mention I hate Trump? Also, I think about his dick size and I hate him. And I hate him so much.
I know. My whole identity is hating Trump.
My whole identity is hating Trump.
Occasionally Luke Skywalker, but mostly hating Trump.
Oh, my God. So Bill Maher, who used to be the enemy of conservatives, and I don't think his politics have changed that much, but he's pointing out how ridiculous it is that people are trying to cancel Cheryl Hines because her husband decided to throw his support behind Trump, but it wasn't exactly glowing support either.
No, but here's the thing. It's like, it's getting ridiculous with the cancellation anyway. And like a lot of people, I think, didn't change. It's just that this extremism on the internet has gotten ridiculous. It has gotten absolutely ridiculous. So anything like a little bit like right of far left means you're automatically an alt-right Yahtzee. And it's absolutely batshit. For years, like I've said this many times, didn't matter who people voted for. You didn't know who your friends voted for. You didn't care who your friends voted for unless they told you and you had a discussion about it. It didn't matter. People can be married and have different opinions. Okay, I worked elections. Okay, I worked election polls. Can confirm. We'd have spouses come in and one would be registered as one and one would be registered as the other. And it happened all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. We had people that came in, the spouses were not registered the same way. And because you don't have to be. You know, if you're an intelligent person, you can still love somebody that thinks a little bit differently than you can. You can handle that. We don't always agree.
How can you love a Nazi?
You know,
tell people, how can you love a Nazi, geeky? Because your husband's practically Hitler.
Well, you're a libertarian and I'm not.
Yes, I am.
So I mean, it's not a big deal.
Let's listen to this.
We're going to hear something. Okay.
We're going to hear something. This is going to be Bill Maher, and he takes some attack. But the thing is that he pisses off right wingers too because he really hasn't changed. It's just the goalpost, the Overton window has moved.
So let me get this straight. His wife, doesn't agree with him endorsing Trump.
Yes, but
they're going after her because her husband did.
Yes.
But that's not her fault. What's she supposed to do? Tie him up and tell him he can't have opinions?
She's supposed to divorce him.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
A couple of weeks ago, Bobby Kennedy, scion of the most storied dynasty in Democratic Party history, dropped out of the presidential race and threw his support not to the Democrat, but to Trump. And everyone all at once said the same thing. Bobby Kennedy did something weird?
That's true. That bear thing, yeah, that was weird. And I think I've said before, am I allowed to say, I actually like RFK. I was hoping he would stay in it, but I also know he has no chance in hell.
I think it's better when you get to that point where there's no way you're going to win. You're better to not be part of it and pick a side because it just splits the ticket and makes it worse.
Well, what happened was his own side threw him under the bus.
Yeah, what we've seen before, Tulsi Gabbard, Bernie Sanders,
I liked all of them. That's the thing that kills me is it's like Democrats, you make it, because for the longest time I considered myself a Democrat. You're making it so hard. You're making it so hard to be a Democrat because all the good ones, the electable ones, yeah, you tank them.
Well, not just that, but it's I think what they're doing is just in general, not Democrats in general, but the far extremist people, the ones that are trying to cancel everybody, like cancel Elton John and cancel Bill Maher and go after this guy's wife and everything else. All you're doing is people think you look like you're batshit, and they don't want to. They're like, I don't want to be like that. So you're just pushing people the other direction. When you do these big targeted cancellation mobs, you're just turning people off.
Why do you think that people are outright rejecting entertainment that has overt diversity themes in it? They wouldn't have really thought much about it before, but because the activists have been so militant and batshit.
Well, since you don't like it, they tell people who just didn't watch it because they didn't want to that they're racist, homophobic, misogynistic, whatever. And they're like, I just didn't want to watch the show. You're just turning people. Was it like Sarah Silverman who said that she was not picking a party to consider herself politically homeless because you can never pass the purity test on the left?
Yep.
And that's what's going on. We don't normally talk politics a whole lot unless it comes down to bullying or something that crosses over into pop culture.
And we used to see it more on the right. And now we see it more in the left.
That's what they're
That's
saying. All these people
so
like
weird
when the
about it.
left becomes what they claim the right was in the 80s, it's like in the 70s, it's like, holy shit.
The religious left. Here we go.
Kennedy in league with a Republican? Why, that's like ordering white wine with bear. Now, look, I like Bobby and always will. And there are things he has been right about that no one else would touch. But
That's
yes,
true.
I also think he's weird.
Yeah, that's also
That
true.
doesn't necessarily mean.
Supportive of the president. His wife is Cheryl Hines, who Larry David was quoted as describing as the best person I've ever met, the one person in Hollywood who doesn't have a single enemy. Well, now she does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because she didn't throw her husband under the bus when her husband made a decision about
Her
something
husband,
which
not
she's
her.
made plain she disagrees with. But that didn't satisfy the obnoxious posers on the aforementioned far left. Thousands tweet screamed at Cheryl things like,
Tweet
"How do
screamed.
you live with yourself? Do better."
Do
I
better.
can't even enjoy the episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm with you in them anymore.
Really? Because she didn't tell
No
her.
wonder Larry divorced you.
Yeah, they're like, they get their, God, yeah.
That's what the hate bullying. That's what it is. It's hate. That's exactly what it is. It's
he brings that up. Yeah, he brings up the thing about it is that, like, people do conflate the actors with the characters. I mean, this is, we talked about Mark Hamill before, and I'm like, Mark Hamill is definitely not Luke Skywalker.
No.
Right? I mean, and he hasn't been, I don't think he ever has been, but he definitely is not Luke Skywalker right now. And people have to realize that. Like, you can still like the movies and you can like the character of Luke Skywalker, but realize that's the character that George Lucas wrote.
Very rarely are actors their characters. you
Very
know?
rarely.
Yeah, that's a character on TV, but okay.
Yeah, these people are, it's so predictable, though. It's all the same. It's all the same
The tweet
thing.
that got the most attention was from actor Bradley Whitford, who wrote, "Hey, Cheryl Hines, way to stay silent while your lunatic husband throws his support behind the adjudicated rapist who brags about stripping women of their fundamental rights. Gutsy. Great example for the kids, profile and courage."
Well, this guy, I haven't seen him in much of anything for years.
You know what I think is not gutsy? Mansplaining to a woman,
Yeah.
of course not to her face.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
has happened to you?
All the
This has
time.
happened to you on multiple occasions.
I have brought this up so many times, and not, just across the board in pop culture in general and different things, that you might, like, it's not just me. I mean, as a woman, you have people that are not straight, not white, not male, and you constantly hear it's because you're straight. You don't like them because you're a misogynist or you're a racist or whatever. And the thing is, you can be like completely, you can yourself not be white. You're still a racist because they said so. They marginalize people twice. Or they mansplain at you. Like the guy I love the guy telling me I was a misogynist and trying to argue I was a misogynist. And then he started acting like a misogynist, but then telling me I was one. And they cannot see the hypocrisy. They
No, they
cannot
don't.
see that they are doing exactly what they claim they hate.
People now are so pickled by politics.
It's a religion. It is a cult.
religion.
It is
It's
a-
it's
you
not
have to-
even religion. It's a cult.
You have to worship at the altar of whichever party you're in.
Yep.
And you have to, show your allegiance daily.
You have to use the right buzzwords.
And you're not
right.
allowed to have an opinion outside of the hive mind. If you do, they descend upon you. You have to love everything they tell you to love and hate everything they tell you to hate. It's ridiculous.
How she should sacrifice her marriage. Also, you could read something on Twitter that met with your approval. You want to know why I have a bug up my ass about the left more than I used to? It's shit like this.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. This is a guy who got canceled by the right for making a joke about 9/11, which he shouldn't have made, but he did. And they were all like, he's the worst. He's the most liberal ever. And now it's like, no, actually, I've been watching Bill Maher for years. He hasn't, he's gotten a little grumpier, but he hasn't changed that much.
No,
It's
most people that were on the left that are considered now alt-right or right, they never changed. We never changed. We still are, I still serve as in the middle and I lean left.
We see a lot of, especially the older people in Hollywood, like they're a lot more sane than the younger bunch. But I think a lot of times they say what they think the younger people want to hear because they're afraid of getting canceled.
Mm-hmm.
There's an ugliness they never used to have. The liberals I grew up
Some of them were
respecting,
there before.
none of them are like this.
Well,
Going
yeah.
after the wife, even the mafia doesn't do that.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it's just everything is so crazy right now, but it's not working like it used to work. And I think a big part of it is because of Twitter, because of Elon Musk buying Twitter, and Twitter is not under the control of these crazies anymore. Because it used to be that we're going through the responses to Variety, and if this were 2018, everybody would have been calling for Elton John's head, and they would have been calling for, you need to publicly apologize. You need to cancel his tour. You need to do this. You need to do that.
Right. And instead of BuzzFeed's trying to make it sound like, things you can't believe you heard today, and make it out kind of like it's, one thing. But the majority of the responses were like, well, that seems like a really classy and fair way to answer the question, because he was clearly being baited. I think that we had this, again, this goes along with the money, like the money's running out. Because the money is running out, because a lot of the people that were working in tech were activists pretending to be tech workers. A lot of those people got gone. And we had this artificial view of what people actually thought, because, Twitter was overrun with activists. And then these companies, because their marketing people or their PR people were also activists, and they were younger, and they thought that Twitter meant the world. They would look at what was trending, be like, oh my God, this is a disaster. Everybody in the world thinks this, not realizing that most people don't even use Twitter. No.
Even now with Elon Musk, even fewer people use it than used it before, and they just, it is not the real world. And most people don't give a shit. If that was the case, JK Rowling would have been canceled, and that she's far from it. So we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
Let's wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.